Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Live Hour, YouTube's premier off-the-clock appliance repair talk for off-the-clock appliance repair techs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this evening for an episode that I'm sure you're going to love. Unlike our typical tech talk where we talk, the technical side of things, unlike Brother B's typical Friday night shenanigans where I discuss Live Hour and shop talk, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to roll the red carpet out for an elite organization. We're going to be discussing business. We're going to be discussing I decided to bring a company, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to solve all of our problems. Invoicing headaches, customer database, routing, AI integration. It's so much to name, and I don't want to do them an injustice. So if you want to talk KPIs, if you want to talk FCCs, scheduling efficiency, repeat call rate, inventory turnover. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss tonight's show. This is a serious business hour to elevate your company. So without further ado, it brings me great honor and a privilege that these fine folks decided to hop on down to the YouTube nitty-gritty streets of the appliance repair world. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's make them feel like family. Let's hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And let's welcome ServiceWorks' finest, Brother Base, the VP, right? VP. Baysor Fayas. I also have, I don't know her job title, but if she's on the screen, boy, I know she's an important person. Suparba Panda, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our fine guest this evening. Welcome, folks. Welcome, Baysor. Welcome, Suparba. How are you, fine folks?
We're doing great. Thanks for the amazing intro.
Thank you. Thank you.
With the energy that you have over there.
Well, ladies,
you gotta get our caffeine ahead in here.
Yeah.
Well, Superb. It's not every day that I get royalty in the building, so we get a little excited over here. So without further ado, please introduce yourselves to the YouTube community. We want to welcome you here at the Appliance Repair Community, TMM Appliance Network. Please, Mr. Baysor, introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Really appreciate you having us here and appreciate the time to chat with your subscribers. My name is Baysor Fayas. I've been in the appliance world for many years now. I won't put a number on it. I started out selling appliances and then got into the repair side, ran a service company for a little while. And then that took me into the parts distribution side of the business and worked with a great company, Reliable Parts, for a number of years. And now I've been so blessed to join Suparba's company and to see what really runs the backbones of a service company and to understand what the KPIs are that drive success. So excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I have this all backwards. I'm over here calling him the VP, and lo and behold, this Suparba's company. Suparba, please forgive me.
No,
Suparba,
it is
please
everybody's
introduce
company.
yourself.
It is Baysor company. It is our customer's company. It's everybody's company. We all together make it work.
Set the record straight, Suparba. I beg your pardon. I did you such an injustice. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm Suparba Panda, and I've been building ServiceWorks since last 13 years. And we have been gone through a lot of modification and update to make sure this is built right for the appliance repair industry. We take active feedbacks from customers on how they're utilizing the system, where they're not happy. We take their direct feedback and try to put into the software development process. So we call this platform as a living and breathing platform. Like, we have been building it since 13, 14 years, and it is still building. It is not done yet, because we are trying to change with the world, with the new technology, the innovation, everything. We are trying to stay at the cutting edge of it. And professionally, I've been always in the software side. Before making this product, I was in a software development. I worked in various corporate organizations. And then I saw the need of creating a platform. It's a long story, so I'll cut it out. But I started with building a B2C product, something like that was thumbtack like, where you connect the consumers with the business owners. But then the things got complicated on how do you market it to, like, the business or the consumers. And while doing that, I saw the business actually need help to get into the digital platform, to sell and operate under a complete umbrella. And that's how ServiceWorks was born. And we are going, it's like officially
Okay.
this 10 years this year.
Okay. So what brought this together, I may say, was I was scrolling through LinkedIn, and a wise man, now I don't even know if that's a saying, so I can't take credit to that. But one of my sayings is, a wise man will know his deficiency and ask a question when he doesn't know the answer. And Suparba, I was on LinkedIn, and by the way, I definitely got to put your LinkedIn contact in the description, but because you have a wonderful content on that profile of yours. But one thing that caught my eye was the subject matter of KPIs. Young lady, I'm not gonna lie. I aspired for the better decade of my appliance repair career to be the best technician. I wanted to know how everything worked and this and that. But business wise, I don't think I had a firm grip as I should. So I always seek to learn about such matters. So would you like to dive right into your post and talk a little bit about what KPIs are and how they relate to the appliance repair industry, small business owners,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
large business owners, any business owners?
You're right. Like, it is any business owners. And just to give, before getting started with the KPI, anything that we do in ServiceWorks is kind of under the framework that we invented, and we try to strive forward for that. So it is called a craft framework, and it is literally how the acronym is CRAFT. So it is customer experience, retention, automation, foresight, and team empowerment. So all of these are very good words, but nothing makes sense without a number or data behind it. So anything that we try to do, we try to measure and keep and show our customers. So all the KPI that comes is either one of these 5 categories that we have. It is to get more efficient, more benefits to the customers to drive that. So for customer experience side, if you think about it from the appliance repair perspective or any company's perspective, the most important thing is that whether the customer is happy or not. So the question is that how do you measure if the customer is happy or not? So in appliance repair industry, the first time call completion rate is kind of like the super score, right? Because that not only measures the technician's productivity, your efficiency of your job, but it also actually measures if your customer is happy or not. So that is the first one, and is the most important one. And then that follows by a lot of different other ones, like you mentioned at the beginning of the call, like the job completion time. How long does it take for you to complete the job? Starting from when you picked up the phone call to when you actually closed out the job, invoice payment, all done. So now the job completion time actually determines various factors, like why does it get delayed? And some of the reasons are, unclear notes or understanding of what the issue might be. Um, Sometimes the part ordering, waiting on parts, that could be an issue, like why it is getting delayed. Sometimes the parts availability also, like you may have it already in stock, you're just not aware of it. So that might also drive second trips, third trips. So these are all of the job completion issues that come into play. The third
So,
most important one, yeah, go ahead.
can I ask you a brief question? If a guy or a gal didn't hear of Service Works, right, and they wanted to track these analytics, well, how would you keep track of that, and what would you do? Where would you store that? How would you look at the algorithm, your metrics? Like, I'm sure there's a whole science to that, huh?
Right? No, because we are like one-stop platform. So everything that you do is in our system, service work system. So whether you created a customer that gets into the database, whether you create a job, when you created, who created, how long did it take for you to complete the job? When did you assign the technician? When did the technician go to the job? When did they got out of the job after completion? Every data point is systematically tracked, and because it's in the database, it's easy for us to generate reports or visual analytic tools to show the customers these are the things that are happening. So all they really need to do is use ServiceWorks platform.
Mr. Basor, let me bring you in, sir. Your experience with the company, we're talking KPIs. This is for business owners. It seems like there's a lot of metrics. What's your take on ServiceWorks? How does ServiceWorks help the industry? Give us a brief background on ServiceWorks in your opinion, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. What I would say, coming from my experience of managing and running a service company in the past, the question that you asked is how would somebody do this outside of ServiceWorks? Well, I can tell you it's very complicated, and you have to track a lot of different things if you want to be very, very efficient at it. Generally speaking, the smaller you are, the fewer metrics you have to track, but you still should be tracking several things on your first call complete rates we talked about, and your revenue per job. You should also be checking if you have different channels that revenue is coming in through different manufacturers or different companies you work with. You need to understand what your cost of doing business is with each one of those revenue streams. So back when I was running a service company, I didn't have any of that. I was running through QuickBooks and on spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets. And I had to be very, very, very consistent every day, putting metrics in place in order to gain this understanding. And oh, by the way, it's just could be, a snapshot in time. How's my business looking today? How's my business looking tomorrow? So you have to constantly be doing work to add the data in to get good data out and get good results back. Obviously, with ServiceWorks, you don't have to do any of that, right? When you're inside the platform and operating, all your customers are there, your parts are there, you're calling, your notifications to the customers, everything, right? Your whole housing, your business is on one platform. Now, all I'm doing is plugging and playing, going to dashboards, quickly monitoring things every morning. Now I can get back into the business and working on my business. Where's my next revenue stream going to come from? How am I going to approach and grow my business? One of the things that I love about ServiceWorks is the ability for an owner-operator to not look at the business and say, okay, I'm an owner-operator today, but how do I get out of my own way and grow the business? We provide you those insights and that workflow to help you grow your business and to 2x, 3x your business. That's what ServiceWorks in a nutshell, in my view, is good for.
It almost seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, it almost seems like ServiceWorks removes the what you don't know part of the business, if that makes sense. For the guy or the gal who may not be as savvy and all those metrics, because Suparba, she got really technical, and I'm sure she probably even could break it down further from exit time of the house, gas fuel efficiency, truck maintenance, technician clock in, clock out. I'm sure this thing could really can get technical with your findings. But what I like is that ServiceWorks eliminates the guesswork. You guys put it all together. We just have to put in the data.
That's accurate. We want to give you a platform essentially, and then coach you along the way as part of that. Hey, these are the best practices inside the platform. This is how the platform will help optimize your time. This is how your CSR should operate things in order to make sure that they are providing a good value back to the business, right? Optimizing their time. And so a lot of companies have their own processes in place, and that's great, right? That's driven them to this point. We like to look at that, analyze it, and then give them a platform where they can now pick up their process, put inside, morph a little bit to optimize even further, right? Because that's the goal, is to come to somebody where we can add all of these different things into your business, the reporting insights, the automation, the AI pieces that Sabarbara has brought to the platform now. So how do you engage all the things to then further optimize your business? And that's what we want to help you do, is to, number one, come with a platform. Hey, these are the KPIs you should be working within. You're a certain size of company, so your KPIs are different than a company who is doing, let's say, a lot of manufacturer warranty work, or is a 20 to 40 man operation versus a 1 to 4 or 5 man operation. There's a much different KPI there when it comes to looking at the overall business.
You guys make mention of part integration. Are you guys integrated with the manufacturers such as Marcone or any of the part suppliers?
Yeah, we are
That's
integrated with Marcone and Kpis and Reliable. And
Oh,
we are
that's cool.
working on more integration with more distributors out there. That's in the roadmap.
I'm looking at a image off your website, and Suparba, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys handle pretty much all of these steps,
Right.
from booking. What
Yeah.
am I getting? What am I getting with the booking aspect of Service Works? What does booking look like for?
The booking is multiple different things, right? It basically means like, where are you getting your jobs from? It could be if you are a warranty provider, like warranty job. So you might get your jobs from the, integration that we have with Service Power and Service Bench. The work order flows in automatically, so you don't have to do anything. We are also integrated with First American Home Warranty. In those cases, those booking just flows through. You don't have to create anything. It just comes to Service Works. Secondly, we have got online booking page, which you can plug into your website or your Facebook page or your Google Ads, wherever you want, which is basically a form where the customers can come in, put in their name, address, their appliance type, what their issue is, and actually generate a request. So this works even when you are not in office, not between 8 to 5 hours. It can be any point of time. They can generate their instant booking request and send it to your company, and you'll get the request. And of course, you can call them back later to schedule a possible date, time, etc. And the third one is like, if some customer just calls in, then you just pick up the phone and manually create the work order into the system.
And I'm assuming, being that Service Works knows my entire schedule, I'm assuming when I get those calls, Service Works will go ahead and take the liberty of automatically routing them for me for route effectiveness.
You can, because it depends on, for the online booking page, we can display your availability to the customers if you want. It is up to your choice. Sometimes people just want to get the leads regardless. They don't want to block them out because of your non-availability. But sometimes people want to show they're available, like, hey, AM, PM slots here I have open, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they pick that slots and book a time on that particular slot.
Okay, I love everything that I'm hearing so far. Okay, now the next phase seems to be estimation. Do you guys do well, before I ask this question, let me set the context of my question. I've had multiple of these platforms, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say their names, but I've had other what you would call dispatch management, CSR-esque, services. But I've seen a scale of them where some are really basic, really simple, like you say, they just provide a template, if you will, and you plug and play, and then the route gets generated. But then I've seen some way further down the ladder that they're very integrated. What do I mean by very integrated? From the time you open up the app in the morning, your first job, you have to hit notify customer and send text, and open maps to take you there. And then once you arrive, it tells you enter customer model number, so forth. You do that. Then you do your diagnosis, and then, like you were mentioning earlier, it says parts research. Now, this is where I found really fascinating, and I don't know if ServiceWorks offers this or not. But like you mentioned, it's tied in to the parts manufacturers like Marconi, Reliable, and it shows pricing, but also availability. And to sweeten the pot, it'll also show a little bit of a markup. Does ServiceWorks offer anything of the sorts? And I'm only bringing this up because we're in the estimation phase.
Yes, it's all of the above. Pretty much everything that you mentioned and more.
Please elaborate on the more. Please, you're here for that.
So we are integrated with Marconi Reliable, like you mentioned. So we definitely have, from the estimation, is kind of like the first part, and not all companies do that. Sometimes people start their workflow from estimation, and sometimes they will start the workflow from jobs. But it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It truly depends on the particular company. So when we are adding parts, we are automatically getting the real-time price and cost from Marconi, for example, Reliable, and the availability as well. But more than that, because we can actually look at the model schematics, so it also helps them look at, if I know the model number from the customer, just click of a button, it loads the schematics, and you can look at the diagram, look at the part 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is the part that I'm looking for, and the whole list of parts shows up, and you just click on the part and add it to your job. So it does not expect you to know the part number even. That's what it is.
Wonderful. Now, go ahead, Base.
I wanted to say something on it because I think it's very powerful when it comes to the model search. Being on the parts distributor world for a long time, the amount of data that's at your fingertips from those APIs keeps you from having to go to somebody else's website, look at all kinds of stuff, try to figure out what the best price and everything back. What it gives you is the ability, with a tremendous amount of data from all these different manufacturers, Marconi and Reliable have done it, and I'm sure Kpis have done a lot of work to get all of this data, because not every manufacturer gives you all of this model to part data. So they do a great job of putting all that together in a format that we can then ingest and display to you just on one mobile device. So no longer you have to jump into different places. Sometimes there's not something available to look up, like some odd models or Kenmore, that's a Sears only type product. But outside of that, generally speaking, almost everything is right there at your fingertips. And so that, in my opinion, is really, really powerful. You're able to see the part, identify that's the correct one, see the pictures that come through with that part, and then add it right to the job. And oh, by the way, I can just go ahead and place the order if I wanted to right there. Click, click, click. And I am through that job. And yes, by the way, you talked a lot about in routing, customer notifications, all of that is built into the platform. When they en route, when they arrive, they let the customer know they're at the door, the whole completion thing. And oh, by the way, another great piece of it is many times you go into the home, and let's say you're doing a dishwasher job and you have to uninstall that dishwasher. One of the things you have to do as a business owner is protect yourself, right, by making sure you don't damage that customer's home. Well, how do I know that I have protected myself? I take photos. I can take a little video clips. I can understand, and then those post right to the job. So if I ever have to go back and talk about and look at things, I have a clear, concise understanding of what happened at the job, what we did, how it looked when we finished, how it looked before we got there. And you can enforce these things through the mobile device. You can ensure that your technicians have to go ahead and do these things before they complete a job. So it really is a very thorough, complete mobile application, and you can almost run your entire business from this device on our platform.
And also from the protection perspective, pictures and videos, yes. And also we have got disclaimers in it where you can get multiple signature from your customers about water damage or anything for that before and after type of signatures, all right there.
Exactly.
So that's very
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let me get my service work sales audition on real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a value to this. And let me explain to you the value. Like I said earlier, we are technicians. We're trying to juggle a business. We got families, the kids are calling, the girlfriends, you just bombarded with distractions as a human. And it's very easy to enter into a job, and right before your job, you get knocked off with, something that happened, and then it just, threw you off. And you forget some of these protocols. You forget some of these safety steps. What I like about ServiceWorks is that you can't go forward until you've addressed everything. And going back to what Suparba said earlier, all of this is for our advancement, for us to look at, observe, and figure out what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, and how to make it better. And furthermore, what I like about the app, and I want to send a special shout out to Marcone, Reliable, all Kpis, all of the parts manufacturers that participate with you. Let me explain to you why this is a game changer. For too long, you go out to a job, hopefully your dispatch app lets you take pictures and all of that, but a lot of them don't have that part integration. You got to take the extra couple of minutes to sit down, hope you got good internet connectivity, and go looking for those parts and see who has them, pricing, and then you have to do your part markups. What I really liked about ServiceWorks was that, again, these small steps you guys take care of. You almost make it impossible for the technician to overlook.
Yeah, Brandon, you say one thing really a lot about, or you mentioned a lot about pricing. How do you know that you have the right margin built into your part to make sure that you're getting the right gross margin off of that job? You have an average gross margin that you need to make on that particular job. So if you're just using the MSRP that Marcone and Reliable publish, then you could be missing out on some margin dollars that are there on the table that you could help profit your bottom line a little bit on each job. And adding, we all know that the average ticket, in our business is between $99 and $99 and around $160, somewhere in there, depending on where you're at in the country. So having an extra $10, $15 on a ticket makes a big difference at the end of the year when you're looking back at your financials. So the markups thing is really big in our system, and you can do it, by the part number, price, and also by different brands. So you have some different ways that you can add that in outside of a general markup. You can also build in a percentage off of the MSRP. So if you say, okay, for MSRP, I want to add in a certain percentage more, we can do that too. So we have several different ways that we can do the markup and show you those different gross profit metrics.
Suparba, I got two questions for you, and
Yeah.
these are specific and important. Hold on, let me remove this screen here so you can see the importance of what I'm saying.
Do I have to take it off too?
No, because this is serious. This is serious. This is serious. When I take off my glasses, it's because this is serious. Images are worth 1,000 words, right? That's what they say. So you could talk till your face turns blue. But I've been witness of when I go in a home and I'm doing a proposal, let's say Samsung dryer, right? Heating element. On top of a washer, mind you, I take this big Goliath of a machine apart, blah, 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 just to do my diagnosis, determine that it's the element. Now, granted, I go on these suppliers that you made mention earlier. Marcone. You notice I keep saying Marcone. A special shout out to Marcone. They're great friends of the channel. But that's minor details. But
I saw Saul come in and chat something.
Say again?
I saw Saul come and put something in the chat and his name popped up.
So I was an MVP to the channel. But I put in the part number and I use what Mr. Base Source says. I use the M. I don't even go above that. I just do MSRP. And I merely show the customer the screen. Sometimes they go for it. Sometimes they get on their phone and no. When I show them the price, MSRP, they normally bite 9 out of 10 for the job. But when I verbally tell them, oh, you have a bad heater element, they tend to say, oh, really? Okay, let me call my husband. What you think the husband doing? He's on Amazon. He finds out it's $20, and I'm over here trying to sell the element for $120. The question that I have for you, and it's very particular, hence why I took off my glasses. When I present my phone, because I know that you guys have the mobile app. When I present my phone to the customer, does the image indicate the markup organically, or it will just show them my price, what I'm paying, and I have to do the sales with the screen hidden?
No, it will show exactly the MSRP that you want to show. It could be the MSRP, or it could be the marked up MSRP, or it could be just the cost, whatever you choose. So you have full control of what is visible to the customer. And also, not just the MSRP part, a lot of our customers do not actually display the exact part number even while they're showing in the quote. They give a description of it, so the husband cannot look up the part in Amazon and say that it's $10.
Okay. You about 90% got me like, where was I thinking? Where you guys been? But I got one more $1 million question. Hence the glasses came off, which they're about to go back on. Minor details. Estimation. Okay, we're at the estimation phase. This is very important. This is really where you got me hook, line, and sinker. We're at the estimation phase. When you present to the customer the full estimate, if you will, the service works have like a labor tier structure and a pricing index structure similar to, I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, the Appliance Blue Book, in which they're a company that have labor and price codes based off of the job. Do you guys include that as well?
So we do not integrate with Blue Book, but we have a very flexible price book where you can upload any pricing scheme that you are using with your Excel files, or you can create on your own when you come to Service Works, or look into the Blue Book and enter the same value that is in the Blue Book, because Blue Book data does not change often. So it's a one-time loading. Yes, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you something. And Baso, I know you're dying to talk. I got you, but I got to drive this point home. when let me remove this so my subscribers can see my face, because I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to what I'm gonna say. The human psychology of the contractor slash homeowner relationship is a mysterious one. I found that when you tell a customer the repair's gonna be X amount, and you verbally tell them that, and you verbally tell them, oh, I gotta remove this and that, and you can be even eloquent. I noticed there's a little bit of pushback as opposed to when you do everything in an app, you punch it in and you say, hey, that's the price. It's not me. That's the industry. I noticed that you get less pushback when the customers see things in black and white. And I love that about you guys. Basor, go ahead, sir. I had to get that out there.
No. That's you're absolutely right about it. I mean, that's the biggest challenge is for you to sell a job based on the price of that unit. That's your consistent combat, right? You're combating against Home Depot and Lowe's, and you're saying, all right, is the price that I'm going to give them going to cause me just to get my diagnostic fee and I'm down the road and chasing my next job, or am I actually going to get to sell this job and make some good revenue here? And you're so right about the way that you display it to the customer is half the sales game, so to speak, because it really is a sales piece of it, right? You're providing your knowledge and then providing them their solution. So you're selling your knowledge to them along with that fix. So, when I was running business here, many of the times there's times we went into a home and it took us less than 10 minutes to get the job done and out the door, and I'm collecting $200. People were unhappy about that. But then the conversation went back to, hey, if I didn't know what I was doing, I could have been in your home for an hour. I'll take an hour of your time, but you probably don't want me there. You want me in and out and efficient down the road. And that's what I liked about ServiceWorks is everything at your fingertips. Another thing that we didn't even talk about yet, but when we're talking about the mobile app, I think it's so powerful, is let's say you're researching the job beforehand and you have a wiring diagram, or you have the error codes that you found on Facebook. Well, you can attach them to the job. And so when you go onto your phone, you're just pulling up and those forms are sitting there on that job that you can click into. And you're working on the refrigerator. Well, let me look. I need to check my cooling fan. Let me go see what my, how much watt's supposed to be going to that thing. Let me see what's going on here, the voltage. So you can do a lot of that stuff right from the app. And we're going to get to something I'm sure soon, but we're working on some other things with AI driven things. So there's a lot, that goes into selling that job. And I totally agree with you that displaying it the right way is going to help you close more of those.
Okay, all wonderful points. Let's move on. Superba, you got anything before we move on now to jobs? You have anything in regards to estimations that we may have overlooked?
No, the estimation is kind of like a whole workflow process, right? So you can generate the code, you can show them whatever MSRP price you want. But the good thing about it is you can get the instant approval because you showed them the phone and they think you're very good and they approved. Or if they're pushed back saying that, no, I need to think because I need to talk to my husband, you can actually email them the estimation link, like the whole estimation from the field, email them, text them. So later on, they can, after they figure it out, yes, they want, they can click an approval link to confirm they have approved. So you actually have it documented that they have approved it, even from far away, from remotely. So that is one whole workflow situation that goes in there. And the system automatically sends them reminder if they forget to approve.
I like that because again, the less things that we gotta remember,
yes,
and focus on, the better our lives are. So definitely appreciate it. All right, for time's sake, let's get now on to jobs. I'm gonna assume that this is where the calls, like you mentioned earlier, Superba, come in. You guys work with some of the third-party warranties, and you work with some of the manufacturers. You work with Service Bench, Service Power, some of those organizations. So I'm assuming that that's the jobs portion where the integration of the work gets sorted out. It gets input into the system, and now we map it, invoice it, run it, and so forth.
Yeah, that's right. Like work orders directly come in as the form, what we call as job. And also the estimation that just got approved, you can convert that to a job and start your process. So for the
Oh,
people who are starting from an estimation stage, they convert the same estimation and the number follows. If the estimation was 1122, the job number also will be 1122. So that is a possibility. So the tracking keeps on going. So in the job is the place, if you're starting fresh, four parts to the job really: all the customer information, all of your product information, and if your labor charges and your parts. So that's the major four things about the work order that we have. And along with that is the scheduling part: when do you have to go, who does have to go. So we have a lot of built-in automation logic to decide who is the best tech to do the job. So it is done based on their availability, their skill set, which zone they're operating on. And we can just do like click of a button, select the best tech, and we'll find it and assign it. So all the time, the CSR, a lot of companies have the CSR literally looking into their calendar, the map, and whatnot to find out which is my next best date for which person. So that takes a lot of time, like easily 30, 40 minutes sometimes to complete a work order and to schedule. So those times we are trying to shorten it by using system intelligence more.
Brother Baseball, you got anything to add to that? We're about to go into schedule now.
No, she's very well said. I mean, there's a lot in that job. Like she said, there's the four main parts, but there's a lot more that goes into it, and we'll get into those sections a little later, I'm sure.
Route optimization. That's a powerful claim. That is a powerful claim. And I know that one. And that's that you guys are going to take all of our leads, however they come, manufacturer leads, warranty leads, whatever. We input them into the system. What your claim is that you guys are going to optimize our routes. Going back into KPIs and route scheduling efficiency and rev per tech and so forth. How does ServiceWorks help us in this department?
ServiceWorks is a very powerful route optimization tool. So, if you have to understand optimization, and if you ask multiple people what do they mean by optimization, and you'll get 5-6 different kind of answers. Like everybody's understanding of optimization is different. For us, the optimization is two things. Again, we can assign automatically, and then we can place the jobs in the correct order based on the geographic proximity and the weather condition and the technician's availability and how close the technician is to the job duration. So if I say, hey, if I have got 20 jobs in unassigned state, like I have not assigned it to anybody, but today. So if I do, and I pick 3, 4, 5, how many ever technicians I do have, and I say all 5 technicians, these are 20 jobs, just assign. So it will try to optimize it in such a way so it will assign to the least amount of technicians it needs to do the job. So if you have 10 technicians, maybe it is getting done with 3. So maybe all of the other technicians, you'll see they have free time to do something else. So it does not equally distribute the jobs, but it tries to use the best amount, like the least amount of technicians, and distributes the job.
Wow.
So these are for people like who wants to completely rely on the system. But most of the people are not like that. So people like to have a little bit of control over it. So they actually do assign it to a tech, saying that, hey, Brandon is going to do 5 jobs a day, Baser is going to do 6 jobs a day. That I have decided means the CSR has decided. Now the system has the ability to optimize just Brandon's route, Baser's route, and whoever's route we have. So it can just optimize, change the order, which job you should go first, second, third, fourth. And how does it do it? When we are, like most of the companies that we have seen work off a time range, like 8 to 12, 9 to 1, overlapping time ranges, or AM, PM, or I don't care when, all day, anytime in the all day. So it actually honors the time that you have told the customers, or if the work order came through service power, it comes with a time range in it. So we try to honor the range that the original job was created and optimize based on that. So where
Wow.
should the job be placed? So you don't have to worry. Like if you remove the optimization, it like this is how it looks like. You're looking at a map and a schedule and another window, and maybe another Excel spreadsheet or printout of something, and you're trying to figure it out, right? Like that's how the workflow would look like if you did not have that optimization. But right now you can just click reschedule, like optimize route, and it just optimizes the route.
It almost seems to me that service work acts like 3 or 4 titles within your organization. They're your customer representative. They're your your pricing manager,
Your
inventory.
operations manager.
Operation manager.
I
Art tracker.
mean, scheduling. Okay, now I want to talk, and again, I know we're coming up on the hour superba. You're a VIP. You told me, Brandon, I can't be on here all night, and I get it, but please give me like 1 or 2 more minutes. I really want to talk to you about like the geo tracking, a little bit more. Just dive before we get onto sales. Just dive on to, and what does that say? Let me read that word. Automatic notification,
Yeah.
on-site file upload, custom forms.
So anytime like we're doing any kind of scheduling dispatch, like you schedule it using our system optimization, intelligent scheduling. But when the technicians is at the field, we are already tracking them using the mobile app, their location at all times. So whether they're at the customer's house or they had to go to the Home Depot to pick up a part and come back, everything is just tracked. And so we know the real time that is actually spent on doing the job. So that is like a geo tracking. So not just the time, but also the location is being tracked. And we have, like the technician, like Basil mentioned before, it has the ability to upload lots of pictures and videos. And not just that, like we have the ability to let you create custom forms, like of an inspection checklist, or maybe certain things that you absolutely want, junior techs to be following, and they are not quite trained yet. So you can give them a forms, step-by-step kind of guidance, and you want them to say, yes, I have done this, I have done this. It's kind of like a reminder checklist for junior techs to operate. So we have that as well. And those forms are so much that you can not only just ask question like yes, no, or a textual. Think about Google form, how it looks like. It is almost exactly like that, but you can take signatures and upload pictures on context of any one of those questions. So it's even Google Form Plus, like more like that. So that is also available in the whole section from the mobile app. The technicians looking at to make sure they do the things.
I got $1 million question for you guys. You guys seem like you're very tech. You know what? I got $1 million question for you guys. No. In all seriousness, you sound like amazing for the technician. Walk me through up until this point. What's my customer's experience? Are they being involved in the scheduling as well? Are they receiving updates? What's their because remember you're the face of my company, if you will. What is my customer's experience in with ServiceWorks?
Yeah, you're asking the question at the right time, because you see the automated notification section. So we have so many trigger points that we have, whether you created the job, whether you edited the job, whether you received a part, whether you assigned a different tech, any kind of point, or appointment reminder, just to remind them that you're coming. So all of these are notification that automatically get sent if you want. And if you don't want, it will not get sent. So the power is in your hand.
Wonderful.
But all these notification that gets sent is in 3 forms: email, text, and robocall.
Ooh.
And the things that you
robocall,
can
that's nice.
use in your email and text is not predefined. You create it is with your brand logo, your custom text, and every one of this template, like a lot of our customers use for upselling kind of purpose. Like even if it's an appointment reminder notification, they will still put that. Hey, by the way, we have a membership loyalty program. If you sign up for $99 a month, you get 3 free services or something like that. So that promo always continuously happens because it's completely customizable what you want to write, and you can change it based on your seasonality or whatever you're doing. So yes, the customer is definitely in the forefront. Plus, a lot of cases, we have, for the property management type of company, if you're working with, we have a customer portal where the property managers can log in and see all of the requests their tenants may have raised, or they can raise a service request from that portal directly and look at the continuous update. Did the part arrive? Did the scheduling, the job got scheduled? Whatever the progression of the job life cycle is, they can see it from their customer portal. So that reduces the number of calls saying, hey, what happened to tenant number 504? Like, did their part arrive? They can see it if it arrived.
Wow, that is game changing. Whoa, that's pretty. That's a game changer there. Let me ask you guys one thing too about the before we move on. Dispatch. What major manufacturers do you guys cut? Let me reword this. Most major manufacturers work with one or two platforms: Service Bench or Service Power, and they're relatively big. Do you guys take the work order from those people and integrate it into the system as well?
Yes, we do. We take both Service Power and Service Bench work orders. They can come through automatically. And like Swarba was talking about earlier, if you have the zone zip code mapping that you have in Service Bench and Service Power, we can set that same zone mapping up inside ServiceWorks. So once you assign skill sets to the technicians, those jobs can flow in, automatically go onto a schedule. You shouldn't have to touch anything when it comes to that. They optimize the route, the technician goes and he's ready to go for his day. And then outside of that, you're right, most of the manufacturers are on one of those platforms, right, as far as dispatching calls go. But you have a couple of manufacturers, LG, Samsung, even Bosch. Some of these guys will send the claims out via an email format. So we can ingest that and turn that into a job. And we're engaging with LG to try to get that, because they're starting to pull back from Service Power back to GFSS, their platform. So we're working on getting that information in, so that way LG jobs can drop onto the calendar as well, or onto the schedule. So lots of different little integrations. Outside of manufacturers, you have third-party home warranty companies like Cinch Home Warranty, First American, American Home Shield, companies like these. And we're trying to do the same thing. We are completely integrated with First American. We're in right now with American Home Shield, getting that done. And then we want to continue to provide more, revenue channels, integrations for our customers.
Before we move on to sales, invoice, and payment, there's a question that's haunting me in the back of my mind. I just didn't want to be rude and interrupt you fine folks. But what about this dilemma? I'm interested, and I'm sure some other people who are viewing this may be interested in signing up too. But you already have a pre-existing platform, and you got a gang of customers, invoice, just years of database. A guy or girl may be on the fence, like, man, I don't want to lose all of that and sign up with you guys. Do you guys, or is it even possible, make it to where if a member does sign up, you can kind of look at their existing platform and extract and bring everybody from one hub to another? Is that possible?
We help with data import, right? So, but what any kind of platform you come from, if you can extract the data from that company, we can import it, no matter how the data look like.
Mm.
If it comes in a CSV format, we can, because we
If it
have
comes in a what?
like
I'm sorry. What
CSV
format?
or Excel
Or
CSV
Excel.
format.
Okay.
We have imported customers from House Call Pro, Jobber, Service Fusion, CDA, Service Desk, Workies.
Oh,
We
workies.
also
I have
have
a question.
customers who are in Razor Sync, but except that Razor Sync doesn't give their data to customer. That's what we figured out. But if you can get the data, we can import it. And we have imported close to, like 20 years worth of data, not just little data. So we can import all the data that you have.
Based on Superb, I have two questions from the viewers watching tonight. You can answer them if you want to, and you can simply say pass if you're not comfortable. The first one comes from one of my good friends, one of the channel's longtime supporters, Trinity Appliance Service. I brought this question up because you mentioned them actually earlier, Superba, but without nothing derogatory or inflammatory. Why is ServiceWorks excel in different areas as opposed to some other companies like we mentioned earlier, one being Workies, in a nice way?
So the main reason is this, because ServiceWorks was built with appliance repair service companies in mind. So because there are a lot of field service management companies just like Workies, and everybody does similar things. Like if you see the workflow, all of them does something or the other regarding that. But our platform is nuanced for appliance repair industry. So when somebody comes, they see, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm printing barcode exactly when I need to print because I'm tracking the part in this time. I'm going to send this estimation to job conversion, the real-time price pull-up, and integration with different kind of distributors that we have, and the fact that we are continually wanting to integrate with everybody in the marketplace in appliance repair industry, that just puts us in the forefront because we want to dig deep into appliance repair industry specific enhancement. And that's what we want ServiceWorks to be known for, the best software for appliance repair industry specifically. Unlike Service Titan, like Gorilla of the software, they started with plumbing. That's how they've specialized in before. So everybody has their niche, and ServiceWorks niche is appliance. Workies is not. Workies is like everybody.
Okay, moving on to sales, invoice, and payment. Please help me explain. Please explain to me, guys. Help me understand a little what ServiceWorks does as far as sales, invoice, and payment. What do we got going on there?
You want me to? So yes, okay. Sales, invoice payment. It all starts with you selling the job, as we talked about, and having pictures and things like that available, or having a very nice detailed estimate that's put in a way that the customer sees that you're a professional business and they will accept and sign off on that, right? You're selling the job. And you can, like Barbara said, you can email it, you can text it right there on their phone. They can sign off on that. Boom, you close that job. You get your installed part, and you can complete that, and with notifications all along the way. When you're completed with the job, you can, right from the mobile app, go and have the customer sign a release document saying you did a great job. The work has been completed to my satisfaction. You can also go and send them the invoice along with a payment link right there that they can go pay, or with your mobile device, tap to pay, scan to pay devices, you can quickly just take the customer payment right there. Another feature we have is if you don't want your folks in the field taking payments, well, back in the office at the end of the day, or after the jobs are complete, the back office can see the jobs completing by the jobs changing colors on the schedules, by the way. They can go ahead and run the credit card payments at the end of the day. They can go look at your route, see everybody. They can click one button and then run everything for that day and all credit cards at one time of the day. So there's multiple ways that you can take payment, and you can send that payment through to the customer. And of course, obviously, once they're done, they get a full invoice emailed to them as well, in order to close out the job. So there's from the very start of the job to the very end, and we talked a lot about notifications, but there's notifications built in all the way through, from even if you just took 1 trip, 2 trips, 4 trips out to that job. Every time you go out, you get notifications out to the customer, and then of course at the very end, closing that job out.
And from the sales perspective here, this workflow, it means that we have a little POS terminal too. So if you're not in service, but if you're sales, like you have a retail shop where you sell parts, this is for that. So we have an integrated POS system built in too. And after selling the parts or serialized items, we connect the service with the sales. So you can actually create a service ticket associated with the sales that just happened, saying that, oh, this is the refrigerator I sold that I need to go drive and install in 2 weeks. So those sales and service are connected. So this is that flexibility that people have.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Barbara. I didn't recall even that or mention to say that, because there's a delivery component when you sell the appliance, then you have a delivery aspect to that. So that's that service side. And then even after that, like if you need to do in the warranty period time, if you need to do manufacturer warranty on it, you have history of that sale. And then even after the manufacturer warranty time, all of that history stays. So the customer's calling you back whenever they go back to that job and they're working on that appliance, you'll see all of that previous documentation that somebody did in the past on a particular appliance. So it kind of tracks everything.
Are you guys integrated with some of the because you made mention of payments? Are you guys integrated with some of, well, this is a 2-part question. Are you, number one, are you integrated with some of the major companies? Like I use Clover for my business. If I was to switch over to ServiceWorks, would that be any type of hiccups?
We are not integrated with Clover system. The payment gateway that we are integrated is Square and Stripe.
Square, okay.
Square, Stripe, and Sphere, but we have our own integrated payment mechanism built in. So that is called SWIP. That is ServiceWorks Integrated Payment. So that is what is all built in, because even if you use Clover or anything, those are 2 different systems. So when you're really swiping payment in Clover system, that is not happening in ServiceWorks, right? Because then you have a delay sync motion going on. But with ServiceWorks integrated payment, everything happens at once. So that's why we prefer that. But we do have integration with Square, Stripe, Sphere.
How long is the typical turnaround with the Swift platform?
Getting it set up?
No. Assuming a general any person signs up with ServiceWorks, they run their first call. Customer wants to pay with credit card. Again, you're not affiliated with Clover. We go through your preferred outlet, which is the Swift. How long are we gonna see the payment hit our bank account?
Oh, like whenever you see, whenever you get if your account is all set up, it is just regular 2 to 3 days that gets transferred to your bank account. But we do have a next day fund transfer mechanism.
Okay.
And if you're in US bank, it actually does same day fund transfer as well. So there are multiple options there too. So we do not hold the money. So the money does not come to ServiceWorks first and then goes to you. It goes to you directly.
As it should be, though, respectfully. And I like that. As it should be.
Yes.
Wow, this is, I know it's the hour mark, Superba, but you're going to love what I got to say. So far, in booking, estimation, schedule, dispatch, sales, just by signing up with ServiceWorks, I've already in my head, I haven't told you, but in my head, I've already thought of 4 companies that I can eliminate that I'm using to, in theory, do this same thing. I have one credit card application person. I have one CSRM person, Blue Book. I'm just thinking of like all these different apps that I'm paying. And I'm like, man, I sign up with these guys. They're all inclusive. But again, minor details. Payments. No, we did discuss that. Okay, we're getting now to customer service management. No, customer survey. Ooh, forgive me. Customer survey. Any final words on that?
Yeah, because this is a very important aspect of it, right? Like, because this is all about the feedback collection loop, right? So when we are sending automated notification or reminder at the time of the job completion, we embed the NPS tracking score, or how was the CSAT, like how did you like my service, how did the tech do. So those are all built in, and they can literally say 1 star, 5 star, 10 star, however you want to set up. And that data actually is one of the most important KPI of customer satisfaction that is stored into the system. So all you have to do is complete the job, and this notification will automatically be sent to your customer via email, text, like I told before, and the customers will automatically fill up that because it's been sent to them. And not only just internal CSAT scoring, they can, if you choose, we can direct them to your own Google page so that they can write a review on your Google page as well.
And if you want to pay commissions to your guys to then get these NPS scores, we can track that in the system so you can pay a little extra bonus to your guys.
Yes.
Guys, we're coming up on the hour mark, but I must say, I brought you fine folks on just to give the industry more about you, but you have the hosts interested. I'd love to bring you back on, but I'd love to do an episode this time on you presenting to me the app integration.
Mm-hmm.
I love to see what it looks like on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
what on my desktop. I want to get into the AI that we didn't even touch on. And Lord knows, and you know, I'm not a part of ServiceWorks, but I think I have a ServiceWorks brain. And if I think I know ServiceWorks, I think what you're going to say is that the AI, you probably could even talk to it and say, hey, I'm on this job. I have a whirlpool. It's giving me a headache. It's not doing this. What do you think? And then the AI probably tell you, hey, look, check this, check that, check this. And then the AI probably tell you, hey, go on ServiceWorks and click on this menu and this drop box. It probably tell you even how to navigate through the portal to get out of the job, get tech support, get the parts, pricing. We haven't even spoke about the AI. This thing is so immersive.
It is. It's a lot. It's a robust system. And all of the things that you talked about, the AI, that's where we are trying to go. So we have some of it, but not all the things that you just said. But we definitely have working towards that to make it more AI driven oriented, and especially from the side of the part prediction model that we are trying to, enrich the data with much better score ability to say that, hey, if you put this model number with this issue that, hey, this refrigerator is not cooling, Whirlpool so-and-so model, we are trying to predict the right parts for you using the AI and the amount of data we have. So we are working towards that. So we have a lot of AI feature for sure. And one is Bezer's favorite. So I will let Bezer speak about that quickly.
Please, sir, please.
Well, when I was running my business, there was a lot of times where I could not read what the technician even wrote on the paperwork that he brought back to his office. I remember the day they bought their clipboard with all the checks in there, with all the stacks of work orders and everything. I had to type all this in the computer, send it off to the manufacturer so I'd get paid on the claim. Well, I couldn't even read the stuff. And half the time, I put something that was incorrect and I'd get a claim that would bounce back. Well, those days are over. You don't have to worry about those things anymore. Basically, let's say, even if it doesn't come from Service Branch Service Power, like say you're entering the information in, you're taking a call on the phone and you're taking a customer complaint. Then you have any history of notes on that particular job or anything that was communicated prior. So you have job notes, you could have some trip notes, And then you have exactly what the technician did while he was there, what he found out. So on this washer, the pump wasn't draining because he found a sock in and that broke off some of the tabs in the pump. Boom. Well, he misspelled 6 of those words in that description of what he did to the job. Doesn't matter. We have a little AI. Bam, one click, changes the grammar, makes it really nice.
Damn.
Then at the end of the job, you can have what they call an explanation of services. That's really what he did on the job. But you can have an AI take all of the initial customer complaint notes, the job notes, the trip notes, and what the tech did, and it compiles it into a very systematic explanation of exactly what happened from the time the job came into the system till you completed the job. What he did, what he found, the parts he ordered, all of that information, and that gets submitted to the warranty companies. The only time we have ever had a kickback is if something was done outside of ServiceWorks that made that job, the manufacturer didn't approve that job. But all of these things work perfectly, and they actually better your approval process, your approval rate, because they're very easy to understand. There's a complete and very verifiable business process that you have given them.
Guys, I know it's the hour mark. I know I only have you for so much. It's not often that I get VIPs come to this channel, so I won't abuse your time. I really want to thank you for being here. I put the link in right here. Okay. Again, please come back. We'd love to see the app on the phone. Maybe you want to share how the desktop portal, because I'm not privy to your side. I only could see the images that were provided today, which, by the way, blew my mind. I can't believe how immersive this thing is. And I love to see it in real life, to see the seamlessness. I love to see how this thing really flows, and again, I'd like to leave this opportunity for you guys to just tell anybody who's interested, how can they find out more information about ServiceWorks? And this is a topic that we have to discuss, pricing. We have to get into it. What will some of this work? And go ahead, just send us out on a little bit about ServiceWorks. How can we find out more?
So you can find ServiceWorks, at ServiceWorks, service.works, and there'll be several links there that you can look at scheduling a demo with us or scheduling a meeting with us. You can always call me at 636-202-0714 or Besor, Besor.
Wait.
Can you type that in the chat, brother?
Yeah. Can you do it one more time? What was the number?
636-202-0714.
And what is your
the email is besor.fayas@service.works. And we'd be excited to talk to you, because one of the things we didn't finish today was another part of it is I really kind of like to nerd out a little bit on the business KPIs and understanding analytics, and I enjoy the business side of it as well as the mechanical side of understanding appliances. But if you want to talk more shop and you want to understand what some general KPIs are for your business, I'd love to have those conversations. Those are what really drives the bottom line and makes you profitable, allows you the ability to add another technician and continue to grow your business. So excited to have any kind of conversations about not just ServiceWorks, but the appliance business in general.
Oh, I'd love to have you guys back on again, man. For real. I'm sure we can go into a whole wormhole on, like you say, nerd out on the business side. And brother, it's an esoteric subject matter, and there's not a lot of information about it. That's why when Superba put it out, it's what caught my attention, and it's what spawned tonight's show. But Superba, you have anything you'd like to add? on the way out?
Definitely. Thank you for hosting us. It was really fun talking about service works, and like the excitement you showed. It just really keeps us going. We like to hear from people who are actually in the appliance repair industry business, what problem they're facing, and that's what it is. It is, to me, it's like a problem solving exercise, and I love hearing from people. All the questions that came up, people are asking these questions. These are all the seeds of thoughts that goes into our heads, and we keep making our product better and better. And we'll absolutely love to come back again.
Baysor, I'm sorry, Superba, can I get your contact info, please, so that to put it in the chat?
Yeah, it's SUPARBA at service.works.
And Brandon, I'd be a fool for not mentioning one thing, that she is, Saparba is a very, she doesn't like to talk about herself, but she has a great LinkedIn blog that she writes.
Yes.
And my spelling is SUPARBA.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I think there's an edit here somewhere. Oh boy. Can you help me one more time? Spell it. Sorry.
SUP as in Peter, ARB as in boy, A.
At ServiceWorks?
Yes, service.works, yes.
Service.works.
Sorry.
So Saparba has a blog, and one of the things that really started when she reached out to me to join her business, I was floored by how she was able to take the subject matter of AI and break it down to me in layman's terms. I'm not a smart guy. She knows all of this stuff. And I was like, man, it just blew me away. And she wrote several blogs about this. It really tries to help you understand like where AI came from, how it's gone through. And then, now she's putting out things like, the beyond the service call, how appliance parts can analyze their businesses. So find her on LinkedIn and follow her, because you'll learn a lot.
Thank you,
Victor. I did.
Guys, I want to thank you again. The YouTube community thanks you. It's been a real pleasure. Feel free, if you have like any final words. Man, I'm definitely considering switching platforms. Like I said, my service, I don't want to say their name because I'm not in the industry to discredit, but they're just so limited. You guys do the invoicing, you guys do the estimation, you guys do parse inventory, you actually communicate with the parse warehouses, you mark up the parts, you do you based off my metrics and my goals, based off what you guys say, you guys have a pricing tier that I need to format my business after in order to get those metrics. And it just really blew my mind today how much of a one-stop shop you are. So again, me from my heart, I'm personally thankful. I'd like to get you back on maybe next week, same time, if that's okay. Maybe we can do a demo and you guys will walk us through your visuals, and you guys have host of the meeting and you show us everything, because I've been floored this evening.
Well, we're humbled and grateful for the opportunity to do this for you and for all of your great folks that follow you. So really want to thank you very much for your time and for the opportunity.
For sure.
All right. Well, guys, thank you. It's been a real pleasure. The YouTube community thanks you. You're a friend and family to TMM Appliance Network. Mr. Baysor, Superba, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's true, man. I've been doing this, man, 13 years now. 13 years. And man, I didn't, there's nothing wrong with starting working with a company, because I didn't know how much I didn't know. And when I first started, I I thought just doing the repair was it and making money. For me, this was how rudimentary, this is how simple my mind was. I used to just have a profit number in my head. Like, I'm gonna make X amount on this call. And then when people will call me, I'd write down their information on like a notepad. This was my beginning days, that is. And I go run the call. And hopefully I try to make that profit. But I had to look up my own parts. I had to do my own QuickBooks. I had to do my own this, my own that. Customer survey. I didn't even know that was a thing. There were so many things that I left on the table, and as I evolved, I started going to conferences such as ASTI. I started learning from other folks. I started learning business and so forth. But this whole subject matter of KPIs, I really need to take it serious, We all do, we all do. And again, check them out. Let me share their website with you. I only had them for an hour, so I didn't want to talk them to death. But guys, show love to our guests tonight and check them out. All right. But that takes care of business talk. And while I have you for tonight's show, let me take the opportunity and talk to you a little bit about channel news. Why not? Why not? Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, the appliance repair is a wonderful industry to get into. It's a great add-on to anything that you do. You can moonlight. You could do this on the weekend. It's a great, gap filler. It's a great part-time. It's a great full-time. You can scale to get a whole business, get techs. But if you want to learn how to actually repair the appliances, not so much the business, not so much the KPIs, but if you want to learn how to repair the appliances, we got a spot for you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, in tonight's episode of Channel News, the world's greatest appliance repair training facility in the world, we're having our next hands-on. It's right around the corner. It is right around the corner. Our next upcoming hands-on sealed system event is on Thursday, October 2nd. Oh, man, I got class Thursday. That's 2 days from now. Jesus. Oof. If you want to sign up, I don't know if I even have space. I don't even know if I should be mentioned in this. But if you don't know what these gauges mean, high side, low side, vacuum, recovery cylinder, nitrogen, 15% solder, all those terms, if you don't know what any of that means, ladies and gentlemen, you got about 2 days. And I don't even know if I have space, so I don't even know if I should be promoting this. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we have for channel news today. Okay. And as far as industry news, don't forget, you got ASTI coming up, great convention to be a part of. MSA is coming up. And as far as industry news, we definitely have to show support to the show sponsor, which is MSA, Marcone Servicers Association. Members.msaworld.com. It's a wonderful resource to get all of your schematics, your wiring diagrams, service bulletins, and so forth. Just today, these were uploaded at 9:43 a.m. These were uploaded. Let's take a look at some of these PDFs. What do they look like? This is downloading. What I love about their schematics and their wiring is very nice. It's very transparent as soon as it downloads. Wonderful. Doesn't want to download. My luck. Let me get another one. Bear with me, guys. I'm downloading one of these schematics to show you kind of what they look like. And I'm doing Marcone a severe injustice because it's not downloading for some odd reason. But believe me when I tell you, I go for all of my schematics and my service bulletins and all of my stuff, I go to msaworld.com. For some odd reason, it's not downloading. Probably because I'm streaming live. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Now I can share with you. Bear with me. So yeah, this is where I go to get all these kinds of documents. When I want my parts catalogs, my schematics, I love how clear the stuff is. Unlike some other sites that give you tech sheets, they spam their tech sheets with their logos. I don't mind them, shouting out their company for providing the parts diagram, but sometimes they write over the actual numbers and you can't see it. Marcone doesn't do that. I like that about them. Really clear. So again, show support. Go on over to msaworld.com. Tell them Brother B sent you. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful episode tonight. Thank you for being part of it. Show support to ServiceWorks. It was great to have them over. Again, their website is, let me show you their website. Bear with me. Great company. All right, go check them out at service.works and tell them Brother B sent you. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of YouTube's premier Off the Clock appliance repair talk for off the clock appliance repair techs. I'm your host with the most, and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you was here with me, and I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, love, peace, harmony. Have a great evening.